Imagine you were born into a world of eternal conflict, raised by an abusive father whose ideology you neither believed in nor ever wanted any part of, indoctrinated into a life of constant pain and suffering, remaining a loyal subject for eons, all for the hope of earning his favor. But no matter how many victories you help your father obtain, that longing for love and acceptance you've always craved is only ever met by one constant. This constant: hatred. Who are you? You're Lilith, the queen of the succubi and the daughter of hatred. Now, I know most people who clicked on this video will be coming in here with a steadfast opinion on this topic. And all that I ask is that you keep an open mind and listen to the arguments before you pass judgment. I believe most have a preconceived notion that demon always equals bad. But I would argue that in the world of Diablo, it's never so black and white. That our real world morals are not one for one within the world of Sanctuary, which, by the way, would not even exist if it was not for Lilith. Yes, demons still do bad things, but there is an argument to be made that angels might actually have a much further skewed comprehension of morality in comparison to the demons. Don't believe me? Let me remind you then that it was the angel Malthael during the events of Diablo III that killed over half of the world's population because, according to him, the Nephilim were an inferior race and an abomination. You know, there was once a man in our real world who also wanted to eradicate an entire race of people because he believed they were inferior. Can you guess what that man's name was? It was Adolf Hitler. Yeah. So let me ask you now, in this very moment, would you still say that angel always equals good? Let me say, if your answer is yes, I'm really happy we are not friends, because I do not want a friendship with somebody who thinks the answer to that question should be yes. But this video is not about friendship. It's about Lilith. So, who is Lilith? And is she really as evil as most people seem to think that she is? In my opinion, she is not. But let's get into it. So Lilith, born the daughter of the primeval Mephisto, I'm sure we all know this, but even Lilith was unable to escape her father's unbridled hatred. Although there is no official confirmation, it is very safe to assume that Mephisto treated her as he would have treated any of his subjects or those unfortunate enough to find themselves in his realm, with countless incidents of torture. Mephisto is well known for reveling in the pain of others, and there's really no reason to believe that she would have been spared Mephisto's wrath whatsoever. After all, we only need to look at how her uncle Diablo treated his daughter to see how this family feels about the bonds between kin. Diablo's daughter, you may be thinking? Question mark. Yeah, in case you didn't notice, Leah from Diablo 3 is actually Diablo's daughter, meaning Leah is actually Lilith's cousin, and also meaning that Lilith and Deckard Cain, arguably the true protagonist of Diablo 1 through 3, are quite possibly related.
I'll give you a moment to think about that.
Yeah. In Diablo 3, we see Diablo possesses his daughter Leah, knowing full well it will kill her in the process. But Diablo never shows a single ounce of remorse for this action, And these are the kinds of beings that Lilith was raised by. Now, there is a psychological debate I would like to refer to, which I'm sure most of you have heard about before at one time. This is the nurture versus nature debate. So, nature versus nurture is a debate about the relative importance of an individual's innate qualities versus personal experiences in determining or causing individual differences in physical and behavioral traits. Nature refers to all of the genes and hereditary factors that influences who we are, while nurture refers to all of the environmental variables that impact who we are, including our early childhood experiences, how we were raised, our social relationships, and our surrounding culture. Lilith, being raised in such a, well, forgive the pun here, hellish environment, should by all means be the last being to succumb to the whims of love, and yet she longs for an end. She longs to stop fighting, to stop killing. She longs for peace. Although this seems like a dream that could never be obtained, it is nonetheless a dream that she carries in her heart for centuries. That is until one day, during just another battle in the countless battles of the eternal conflict, Lilith meets an angel who will change her life forever. She meets the angel Anarius. Anarius, who was fallen in battle and taken captive by Lilith, is taken back to her lair, where she intends to do what she was raised to do from birth: torture. But then something peculiar happens. Lilith's touch breathes new life into Anarius, who was awoken by her and begins to ramble incoherently about his desires to escape their eternal conflict. And it is in that moment that, for the first time in Lilith's existence, she realizes something. She realizes that she is not alone. They converse, and they both realize that they are of like mind. So instead of torture, Lilith just gives Anarius her name. The two form a bond and decide to do something that is seen as blasphemous by both sides of this war. They set aside their differences and form a union. This angel and this demon being the first to say out loud what many others are thinking: we must end this pointless bloodshed. And they quickly rally others to their cause and devise a plan to steal the World Stone from the Pandemonium Fortress. They succeed and create Sanctuary as we know it today. But understand, Sanctuary is created not out of greed or malice. No, Sanctuary is created out of love. A demon, Lilith, helps create something out of love, not for evil reasons, not with any selfish intent. She does it out of love. And without Lilith, there would be nothing but endless battles, pain, and death for all eternity. And after the creation of Sanctuary, Anarius, being foolish, just wants to stop. But Lilith knows that they can't stop. Why? Because Lilith knows that they need to put an end to the eternal conflict. That the internal conflict is what is the issue here. If any being wants to ever have peace, it has to end. But Anarius thinks that they are safe. Anarius believes that they can just hide from the eternal conflict forever. But Lilith knew it was only a matter of time before the high heavens and burning hells become aware of Sanctuary. And on that day, everything that they have created will be in peril. And since the threat, however, was not immediate, she backs off and she decides, okay, you know what? I'm gonna allow myself to feel love for once. And through this decision and this union, the Nephilim are born. Angels and demons, though they could not reproduce normally, are able to create a ritual to actually produce the first Nephilim. And this ritual would require the mixing of blood and light from Lilith and Inarius respectively. As this offspring begins to take shape, Lilith is the one that reaches out with compassion, while Inarius instantly regrets his decision, but he feels like it's too late for him to back out. But it is Lilith, the one who is the caring mother, the parent who wants to nurture the child, not Inarius. Inarius is ashamed of what he's done, and Inarius does not want anything to do with the Nephilim. And this begins a long history of Inarius never taking accountability for his own actions. Instead, he chooses to throw himself a pity party and finds any way possible to blame all others around him for his own mistakes. But you know, angels equal good, right? Lilith, on the other hand, not only would consistently nurture her offspring, but as we are about to see, would stop at nothing to protect her children. Even if the odds are heavily skewed against her, who really sounds like the villain here? After Lilith and Inarius give birth to their firstborn, they name him Lunarian, and the other renegade angels and demons begin to create their own offspring as well. These offspring give birth to their own offspring, so on and so forth, and humanity is born. But after some time, the angels start to notice that the Nephilim are becoming quite powerful, and they become worried that they could someday become powerful enough to overthrow them. Some want to go as far as even killing their own children to prevent them from becoming even more powerful. Debates are had on what to do with the Nephilim, and most are in favor of killing their children. In favor of killing their children, do you hear this? Because that's what good guys do, everybody. They kill their own children, right? Right? Correct? I'm pretty sure. Yeah? Okay, alright, just checking. So, well, luckily for the Nephilim, the bad guy Lilith hears this plan, and it sends her into an uncontrollable rage. Because Lilith then proceeds to hunt down all of the angels that wanted to kill their own children and take them out one by one. Inarius stumbles onto Lilith's deeds, and this enrages Inarius, not because the other angels betrayed him and wanted to kill his kids, no, but because Lilith protected her children from their would-be murderers. Yes, you heard that right. Inarius didn't even care that the others wanted to kill their children. No, let me interject right here and ask you a question. If you found out that your wife killed somebody because she was protecting your child, would you A, comfort her, tell her you understand, but that it was still wrong so that she needs to turn herself into the authorities? Would you thank her for saving your kids and even help her cover it up? Or would you side with the attempted murderers of your kids and proceed to beat the unholy hell out of your wife, who has already been traumatized by an abusive father who used to smash her in the face the exact same way you are doing right now, and banish her to an endless void of cold, dark nothingness to float alone by herself for all of eternity without even telling her that you will take care of the kids? Now, before you answer that, let me ask you this. What do you think a good guy should do? Yeah, the correct answer was C, because Inarius decides that he's going to side with the murderers and beat the crap out of his wife before banishing her to the void. And then, just to add insult to injury, Inarius then goes to the World Stone and attunes it so that the Nephilim become weaker for generations, making it even easier for any would-be murderer to actually kill his children. Bro, Inarius is the best dad ever, right? Like, holy crap, dude. Wouldn't you love to have this guy as your dad? Like, why not just kill your kids yourself, bro? Oh, wait, I'm actually getting a little bit ahead of myself, aren't I? But yeah, just think about that, guys. But that's enough of the backstory. So let's just go ahead and jump into the events of Diablo IV to see if Lilith really is this evil monster that everybody seems to think that she is, shall we? Okay, so first let's talk about the infamous trailer when it comes to Lilith. Now, I could see why some people would say that Lilith was evil because they had to sacrifice these people just to bring her back to Sanctuary. But I would like to remind you of what we have already discussed. Lilith did not banish herself to the void. Anarius did, which means whoever set up the ritual site, this temple, this gate, whatever you want to call it, was not Lilith. How is Lilith going to set this up while she's in the void? It's not happening, which means Anarius, more than likely, is the person who put this in place. This temple was probably built by the Temple of Light. This gate was probably built by the Temple of Light. And what did they do? They made it mandatory that there be a blood sacrifice to bring Lilith back to Sanctuary. Just another example of Anarius being 100% willing to kill whoever he has to get his way. How can you say that Anarius is a good person when to even bring Lilith back, he includes in the ritual that there has to be a blood sacrifice and a life sacrifice? 3 lives sacrificed just to bring Lilith back. Mind you, Lilith didn't even ask for this. The person that brought Lilith back, Elias, used to be a Haradrim. He used to study under Lorath. And isn't it kind of funny that after he went and read all that he could in the Haradric library and then traveled Sanctuary looking for other scriptures to read, he realized, wait a second here, we're doing this all wrong, because everything I'm reading is pointing to the real problem being the angels, not Lilith. Lilith has always been the only being who's ever actually cared about Sanctuary. The angels and the demons don't care. They have no problem, as you can see, sacrificing lives whenever they feel it necessary. In fact, they'd rather just take Sanctuary and turn it into their own personal battleground. And Elias knew this, which is why Elias did not go out and just summon any particular demon. He summoned Lilith for a reason. That reason being is he knew that Lilith would be the only one that would actually help the Nephilim save themselves from the demons and from the angels, because none of the other ones care. And if you just simply look at the demeanor of Lilith, it's not even like she looks super happy to be there, guys. When you look at Lilith, it's almost like a somber tone with her. It's like she's saddened that she has to come and do this. It's like she's saddened that these people had to sacrifice themselves just to bring her back. She's not celebrating right now. She's not happy. She's not jumping up and down for joy. She didn't kill Elias. If she really only cared about herself and never cared about Sanctuary or any of these people and just wanted to take over the world, she doesn't need Elias for that. She could just kill this guy right here, right now. When you look at it that way, the evil thing to do would be to kill Elias right now and being like, well, here's your reward. Does that sound familiar? Because that happened in Diablo 2. Remember when Diablo did that? So I fail to see how this right here is number one, even Lilith's fault, and number two, I don't understand how this makes her evil. Now we are at the church scene, and I would simply like to point out what these people were doing before that bell sounded. They weren't out there killing people. They weren't out there committing adultery. This guy was farming his land for his children. That mom just a second ago was playing with her child. These are good human beings, just minding their own business, going about their lives the best that they can in a medieval land. And then, from out of nowhere, just whenever the priest feels like it's necessary, I suppose, he hits his bell and says, hey guys, come over here to the church because I want to talk to you. Right when they're in the middle of towing their land, getting a drink, maybe trying to wash up, watching the kids, having a good time, maybe having a family picnic. The priest doesn't care. He just tells everyone, hey, you hear that bell? You better get to my church right now.
Shameful. Our Father has granted you a path to salvation. And yet, you stray from it at every opportunity. You drink and gamble. You covet and steal. shameful.
Like, what is this, man? Did you see the look on those people's faces? Look at them right now. Look how sad these people look. They weren't even being evil people. Like I said a little while ago, like we literally just talked about this. This lady was just talking with her kids. You know, they're having a picnic, farming, and they come in here and they have to sit here and listen to this guy completely like browbeat them down, you know, and just constantly sit there and talk about how they are such terrible human beings. Like, what are you doing, man? It seems like all you're doing is sitting in your church and talking crap to people and making them feel bad about their lives, probably because you don't have anything to be happy about either in your life. You know, I mean, he seems very abusive, which I guess I should have expected, considering most of these Cathedral of Light people, they're always trying to follow in the footsteps of Anarius, and as we've already discussed, Anarius is not a very good person himself. In fact, Anarius can be rather abusive too. So it's like he is trying to be more like Anarius by ripping these people new assholes, and it's just messed up.
Sin is their birthright.
So now I know that you could look at that line right there and think, oh yeah, look, see, she's evil. She's proven that she's evil. But I look at that a different way. She's seeing what this guy is doing to these people. She's seeing how this guy is mentally abusing this whole town. So when she comes up to him and says sin is their birthright, it is quite obviously her being sarcastic and poking fun at this man, because he, out of all these people, seems to be the person who is the most sinful.
My children. The lords of hell are coming to devour our world. Salvation lies not in the light, but in you.
So also notice right here, when she comes down to talk to these people, she says of our world, not my world. She's not here trying to conquer the world. She's here trying to help her children survive. That is what Lilith is doing. She's not trying to hurt anybody. She's not trying to kill as many humans as she possibly can. No, right now, she is simply protecting her children from an abusive parent, because she knows exactly what it feels like to be the abuse victim. And every single person in this church is an abuse victim. And she could see this. And that's probably why she actually came to help these people to begin with, because she could see that these people needed her help with this cult leader, with this dictator of this town. And she is here to liberate them from their pain, from their years of abuse from this man. And she's also there to warn them that hell is coming, and she wants to help us live and survive and thrive.
The faith has taught you to deny your heart's desire and turned you into a prisoner within yourself. Break the chains and discover who you were meant to be.
So think about this line right here for a second. Break the chains. What she's saying here is that you have all been brainwashed. Every last person in Sanctuary has been brainwashed by Anarius's propaganda, by the Temple of Light's propaganda. And deep down, these people know it's true, which is probably why the priest didn't like them very much, because they know that what he was doing is not right. And it's time for them to stand up and fight back against their oppressors.
Break the chains and be beautiful in sin.
Resist!
This is probably the first time in these people's lives where somebody has actually believed in them and cared about them. So of course they're going to react very strongly to this, because they are now finally awake and can now finally see the hypocrisy of the Church of Light.
Resist her temptation!
Did you see how terrified that lady looked when she hit that man? It didn't look like she was happy about what she was doing necessarily. It almost looked like she was shocked that she even did that. You gotta think this is probably the first time in her entire life that she has ever stood up to her abuser.
Vani, it's me. I brought your child into this world.
Oh, a second ago, you were saying that everybody here is a sinner and that everybody here is evil and terrible and such bad people. But now all of a sudden, they're good people. This is classic gaslighting 101 right here, man. This is exactly what abusers do. You know, like they act all mean to you. And then when you finally get the courage to leave them, you know, all of a sudden it's, oh, but I did so many good things for you. I was there for your children. I brought your kids into the world and yada yada. You know, please don't leave me. No, man, it's too late, bro. You've been abusing these people for years.
Get what you fucking deserve!
So they take this man out because it was the right thing for them to do. Because who knows how much pain and suffering this guy could have inflicted on these people's children in the future. Considering the lives that they have had to lead because of this man, it makes sense that they would react like this. Sure, they're probably overreacting a little bit, and I understand that point of view. But you also got to remember that these are people who are lashing out at the person that's been abusing them for years.
You hunger for knowledge. You dragged your child all over Sanctuary in pursuit of it.
No, I taught her how to survive.
Is that what you want to believe? Drop the act.
Let's talk about that for a second there too. So, it is very obvious that Nyrel's mother is not a very good mother. So, a lot of people would probably say, well, what about this part of the game? They'll try to say that Lilith killed this lady or something like that. We'll get there, so I'm not going to answer that question yet. But the point is Lilith is calling her out right now. You know, Lilith knows what this woman's been up to. You know, she can tell that this woman has not been taking care of her child. And it upsets Lilith. Lilith isn't like, oh, who cares about your child? Whatever, let's kill her. Let's sacrifice her. No, the first thing that she says to Nyrel's mom is that what you want to believe after you've dragged your own child through all of Sanctuary? And is that what you want to believe, that you're taking care of her? Drop the act. That's what she says, guys. She is defending Nyrel right now. She's defending Nyrel more than her own mother is defending her right now.
I have answers. I know the fabric of the cosmos.
Everything I've read has warned me against you.
Everything I've read has warned me against you. But as we know, the history books are written by the winners. So of course, everything Anarius has written has warned her against Lilith, because Anarius doesn't want people to know that it wasn't Lilith who wanted to destroy the Nephilim. Because then the charade would be up and he wouldn't be able to control these people the way that he wants to.
So curious. You are eager to know why you were spared.
Yes,
Do you have faith in me?
She was spared because Lilith isn't a murderer like that. Lilith will only kill if she absolutely has to protect the people of Sanctuary. She will not just kill random people, just like she is not just killing Nyrel's mom, because Nyrel's mom has no reason to die. Now, is she a great mother? No. And Lilith, as you've already been hearing in the dialogue, is trying to get her to realize, hey, maybe I'm not really that great of a mom, and maybe I should be a better mother to Nyrel. And I think we all know, especially if you've gone through Vessel of Hatred, pretty sure we all know that Nyrel's mom probably should have tried a little bit harder to actually make sure that Nyrel ended up being a good person.
For now, all you need know is that we are going to meet my son.
Rathma, the first necromancer.
He is that, and more. He is the key to my plans.
So think about this for a second, guys. Lilith escapes the void, and the first thing that she wants to do is visit her son. Does that sound like a world-destroying demon to you? Does that sound like some master manipulating jerk, evil, straight horrendous being to you? Wanting to go visit her son? I don't really think that sounds like an evil person, guys.
You've mastered your fear, but I still sense your pain. You miss your daughter.
My magpie.
And see, Lilith can feel that from her because Lilith has something called empathy. She can feel that this woman misses her daughter the exact same way that Lilith has missed her son because she has empathy. Now, I'm not going to go and break down what psychopaths are or things like that, but just let me say this one thing. Most psychopaths do not have empathy, but Lilith does. Not only does she have empathy, but she has empathy for a woman she had never met up until this moment. Again, does that really sound like an evil person?
She's scared right now. She must be.
Go or stay. It is time to choose.
And then Lilith gives her an option. It's not like she says, look, you have to come with me because I'm going to kill you if you don't follow me. No, she says, hey, look, if you want to go back to your daughter, I'm a mom too. I know what it's like. So you can go ahead and just go right back to your daughter. Feel free. There's the door. Go ahead. Go see her.
I trained her well. She's a good kid. Strong. She'll be all right.
You've chosen well, my child. To reach Rathma, we will need to cross a lake at the bottom of these ruins. It requires a ritual. I will teach you.
As you wish, Mother.
Good. You're ready for lesson 1. Blood is the key.
What did you see this time? I don't need sparing. Tell me.
Lilith plans to teach your mother a ritual. One that needs blood. Your mother seemed receptive.
We have to reach them.
Yeah, so too bad the player character didn't just straight up say, it looked like your mom doesn't really care about you, Nyrel, because that's what really just happened there, guys. That's exactly what really just happened there. And I would also again like to point out that whoever set up these rituals, it couldn't have been Lilith because Lilith was in the void. So it was most likely the Church of Light or the Temple of Light, whatever you want to call them. It was most likely Anarius's church. Why are they setting stuff up to where you have to literally cut yourself open and bleed all over things? Does that really sound like something that an angel should be actually using in their rituals is the blood of humans? Think about that. The angels use the blood of humans in their rituals.
I don't know if you would have chosen to stand beside me in this new world, Rathma. But I would have saved your place, just the same.
This is freaking tragic right here. Look how disheveled and how hurt Lilith is. Even telling her son that she would have saved a place for him. Even if he didn't want to be by her side at first, she still would have saved a place for him. Imagine she was in the void for so long. She comes out and all she wants to do is visit her child. That's it. And what happens? Her former lover, the child's father, is the one to kill him just so that he can deny Lilith the satisfaction of getting to see her son, who she hasn't seen in thousands of years. That's what an angel did, guys. Angel always equals good, right? Like, this is terrible right here. But even then then it's not like Lilith turns around and says, well, I'm gonna go kill the whole world now. No, all this will end up doing is giving her more conviction, is giving her more of a reason to fight for her children, because Anarius killed their child.
And now, all that you might have been has been stolen from me.
If she was really evil, why would she care? Why would she care that her son is dead? No, she is not evil. She is just simply a grieving mother. And just think about this. How would you feel if your significant other killed your child behind your back? Wouldn't that hurt you too? Wouldn't that probably cause you to do some crazy things too? And now imagine if you were a demon with the power level of Lilith. She is very strong. Imagine all the things that she could do to Sanctuary now if she really wanted to. If she really wanted to go down this crazy villain arc and just start destroying the world, she could. And in a way, she'd be a little bit justified in doing it, simply based on the fact that there are so many people out there who probably cheered for Rathma's death at the hand of an angel. How hypocritical is that? How hypocritical is this right here? That these people from the Temple of Light are probably over there and praising Anarius for killing his own child.
Stolen. This key unlocks more than the doors of hell. It unlocks our path to the future. A future made possible because of the price you paid. Your sacrifice will not have been in vain.
Look at the determination on Lilith now. See, instead of letting this completely destroy her, she is like, if my son has to die, at least I will make it be a death for a good reason. And now she is going to avenge him by saving the rest of her children. And instead of just letting herself succumb to sorrow and pain and agony, this just makes her resolve go even higher, because she knows that she really is the only one who is going to be able to save the rest of her children, who are literally all of the Nephilim on Earth. So really quick, before we move on, I would just like to emphasize that right now, the church is probably celebrating the fact that Anarius killed his son. Good job, church. Way to push morals onto the next generation. So just remember that, kids. Just, remember that. Killing your children, it's a good thing. Dude, like, Lilith is literally such a respectful person that she does not just show up in Donan's office here. She doesn't need his permission to get into the office. She's Lilith. She can go pretty much anywhere she wants. But instead of doing that, she literally asks for permission to come in.
I know who you are.
And I know you, Donan. Old, tired, each day a struggle to live up to your own legacy.
What do you want with me?
Astaroth.
He's dead.
Astaroth cannot die. Not by your hand. What have you done with him?
Away, demon. I deny you.
You have grown so frail. I can make you the hero you were.
Return to the darkness from whence you came. I said away!
Look, she just politely asked Donan, hey, have you seen my friend? And Donan's like, yeah, I killed him. And you would think that if you just learned that somebody killed your friend, right? Somebody killed somebody who was important to you in your life, that you would want a little bit of revenge for that. And yet, the worst thing that Lilith even does is scratch his lip a little bit. She's pretty restrained when you really think about it. Because not only is that all that she does, but when Donan tells her to leave, instead of just being a spiteful B word, you know what I'm saying, she just says, okay. She doesn't even say okay. She just leaves him alone. So again, she is showing so much restraint here. And if she really wanted to kill Donan, she could have very easily. If she wanted to hurt this man, she could have very, very easily. Because he is not even a tenth of the strength that he probably used to be when he tried to kill Lilith's friend. So I'm just saying, it's pretty amazing that Lilith here is able to restrain herself and does not let that hatred and that rage that you would probably be feeling when you found out that your friend was dead or imprisoned, because in Diablo, you know, they don't actually die. Now, I know that's a retcon, but yes, they don't die. Eventually, they will reconstitute back into hell unless they are trapped, which is why they're always trying to trap these demons in soulstones, is because they know that they will eventually just reconstitute and come back, which is actually how Mephisto is even alive now to begin with, because that's exactly what happens. But even then, Lilith does nothing to this man, just leaves.
Daughter of hatred.
I have an offer. You will grant me safe passage to a place I am no longer welcome. In exchange, I will give you freedom and more. Donan's progeny, his pride and joy, your retribution, if you give me what I want.
You will have safe passage.
Now, I already know that this will be the point where everybody says, look, Lilith is evil. She killed Yoren, Donan's son. But I would argue that she literally kills only one person in this entire game. And the reason that she does it is because she needs safe passage to Mephisto so that she can absorb his power. Because what she's really afraid of is Baal and Diablo coming back to Sanctuary and destroying all of her children. And need I remind you that she went to Donan trying to get help from Donan, and Donan refused her, which means that she did not have any other choice but to do this. This was something she had to do, but it was also something that did not need to happen. All Donan had to do was give her the Soul Stone so that she could set Astaroth free, so that she can protect her children. As a mother to a father, that is why she came to see Donan. She thought, you know what? He is a father. Maybe he of all people will understand why I need to go and take out my father and prevent his brothers from killing my children. And Donan refuses. That's not her fault. And now a lot of people will be like, well, she's still killed. That still makes her bad. How many people do you think the player character kills in Diablo 4? Yeah, literally thousands of people are going to die by the hands of the Wanderer compared to Lilith. So who's really evil here? Who's really the bad guy here? When you really think about that, what's worse? A mother killing one person to protect her children, or the Wanderer killing thousands of people for no real reason except to finish a few side quests? I think the answer is pretty self-evident here.
Do as you please, Astaroth. I have what I came for.
See? So like Lilith doesn't even want to stand around to see this going on. because she doesn't want to hurt anybody. And all Donan had to do was give her the Soul Stone. That's it. But instead of giving her the Soul Stone, he now has to deal with Astaroth. But whose fault is that really?
In my shadow, the strong will oppose the might of hell itself. Let the weak fend for themselves.
Andaria lives. The Horadrim die.
Whatever the cost.
Whatever the cost.
This is how dedicated Lilith is to this. Now, I know a lot could look at this and be like, wow, yeah, that's pretty messed up of her. But if you really think about what she's saying and what she is doing here, what she's doing is saying, hey, look, I've been banished to the void multiple times. So I really need my children to step up and start to be able to defend themselves. Because she knows, she remembers, unlike the rest of Sanctuary, she remembers how powerful the Nephilim can really be. And she should know because she's the one that reversed the curse on the World Stone. So she right now is not saying, hey, you know, I'm gonna let everybody die. No, what she's saying is I need you all to wake up and remember how strong you are. Like, yes, I am your mother, but every generation is stronger and you will all be stronger than me. She's just trying to show her children that, hey, you're not so helpless here. No, I can do everything that I can, and I will, whatever the cost, do everything that I can to protect you. But at the same time, I'm gonna need you guys to step up a little bit here because I need you to help me. I'm just one demon. Please help me.
May we fight true in his holy name. Blessed be the light.
So let me ask you something. Why is Anarius doing this? You could clearly see that Anarius can fly, right? All Anarius needs to do is go in there to confront Lilith, and he can just fly over all of these demons. So it's not even like he needs these humans here to cut a path through all these demons so that he can get to Lilith. He can just fly over them all, or use his little light beam that we just saw him using that scared all the other demons. So why is he leading thousands of people to their death instead? What is up with that? Every single person here, almost every one of them is going to die, and Anarius doesn't even care. Lilith didn't do that, and she has like a cult of people following her, so she could have easily brought a whole bunch of Lilith cult soldiers, or whatever you want to call them, the Triune, whatever you want to say they are. She could have led that many people down here to fight these other men, but she didn't. And you know why she didn't? She doesn't want people to die in her name, unlike Anarius, who doesn't care how many people die in his name, which is why he led these people down here to their deaths in the first place. Wow, good job, Anarius. So although this is a badass fight scene, I would like to ask you this right now. Again, we saw him flying. He saw where Lilith was. All he had to do was fly over to her. But instead, Inarius is like, hey, why don't I just drop down right here and just go ahead and kill a bunch of demons just because I feel like killing some stuff. Yeah, killing some demons sounds fun because I'm an angel and I love killing things.
Why, Anarius? What are you truly after?
My rightful place is in the heavens.
Is that why you seek to destroy all that we created?
Sanctuary is an abomination!
And here we go again with Inarius claiming that his own children are an abomination. So you have all of these people behind him right now sacrificing their lives for him. And what is he doing? He's over here talking crap about them. He is over here not caring whatsoever that these people have families that want to see them, that want them to live, that want to live a peaceful life. He doesn't care about any of that. All he wants to do is to go back to the high heavens. Pretty selfish, man. That is very, very selfish.
And our son.
I made it right. To satisfy the heavens.
Let me emphasize that right there. Inarius is saying, to make the heavens happy, I had to kill my own son. Wow. Wow.
Tell me, did they rejoice? No. They do not want you. In his glory.
See now the work of your faith!
It is done. It all ends with you.
No. We made a choice. And that they can never forgive. No matter what you tell yourself, or who you sacrifice. Silence is their judgment.
That's right, because their choice was that angels and demons were both evil and that they wanted to escape that world. That world was nothing but hatred and evil and pain personified, which is why they tried to create Sanctuary to begin with. Not because they were evil and wanted to take everything over. No, because they actually wanted peace. Or at least Lilith did. At some point, Inarius just up and decides that it's not peace that he wants because he enjoys killing a little too much, I think. Because all we've seen him do in this game so far is kill. Kill, kill, kill. That's all Inarius seems to do.
But I set things right. What?
I mean, look at him abusing his wife, guys. He's over here abusing his ex-wife, but he's supposed to be the one that's good, right?
More would you have me do? Tell me. Please. Tell me.
The heavens do not speak to you anymore.
Heavens, protect me!
No, you belong in hell.
So it is Lilith. Lilith is the one who ends up killing Anarius and sending him back to hell. I don't know if you could really say killing, because as we've already discussed, usually their essence will get recycled, right, when they die. In terms of angels, it happens with demons too, but if I remember correctly, specifically with the angels, they will die and then they will get reborn as another angel up in heaven. Now, that could be wrong, and I apologize if it's wrong, but from my understanding of the lore, that is what actually happens. But it does take a very long time. So Lilith knows that by killing Anarius, she's not really killing him forever. That Anarius will come back someday, and that when he gets reincarnated, then he might actually get that second chance to be up in heaven. So she's actually kind of doing a favor for Anarius right now by letting him repent for all of his sins and possibly be able to be reincarnated as an angel and go back to the high heavens. But also, she's the one who is killing the being that has caused the most destruction and pain in Sanctuary of all, Anarius himself. I mean, just look at this war that he started as an example. Every single person there that's following Anarius is still a son or a daughter of Lilith. And she's had to sit here and watch him take advantage of their children and even set them up in wars that they don't know anything about, just to be murdered, and he doesn't even care. And she's the one to put a stop to that, not the Wanderer, Lilith. She is the one to actually take out this guy that's taking advantage of the human race, because she's protecting her children.
They flock to these theaters disguised as temples, where false saviors tell them fairy tales of good and evil.
Where false saviors tell them fairy tales of good and evil. It's because everything that humans are being taught is not the truth. And although she could probably just keep the Wanderer locked here forever, instead of doing that, she's trying to open the Wanderer's eyes and show him or her, depending on your choice, that Lilith is not here to hurt humans or the Nephilim at all. In fact, she wants you to help her. She says you could be the human's best protector. That's why she doesn't want to have to hurt you, because she's proud of you. She is a proud mother. When she sees you, she actually cares about the humans, unlike Anarius and his church, unlike this guy from Novesk, the preacher, who seemed to get off on putting people down and making them feel like crap.
We are prisoners of the eternal conflict, the pawns of angels and demons. It will always be a part of us. We must fight to survive.
They are pawns, is what she is saying. Lilith is not saying that she wants to kill everybody. Lilith's not saying that. Lilith's saying that we are pawns to the angels and the demons. The angels and the demons are the true enemies of mankind. And Lilith is literally the only one who cares enough about humanity to try to lead them into a position where they can fend off the angels and demons and finally live in peace. That's Lilith's doing. She wants to save Sanctuary. She doesn't want to destroy it.
Elias thought I was the one to save Sanctuary, but he was wrong. A human must lead the flock of humans.
Look how selfless she is right here. Did you hear what she just said? She's not over here being like, oh, I'm the only one that can save everybody and da-da-da-da. Although it does seem like that at times. But instead of taking credit for it, she's like, no, I need the humans to save themselves. I need to teach them to be strong so that they can save themselves. A human must lead them. So selfless, I'm just saying.
I am no one's savior.
A true shepherd never thinks so. But look at your life. People see hope in you.
I mean, Lilith is making a whole lot of sense right now, don't you think? She is over here trying to motivate the Wanderer, telling him, hey, you know, you can do this, man. You can save the human race. You have it in you. I know you do. And the Wanderer is just shooting her down over and over and over again. But just like a dedicated mother, instead of getting mad, she's just saying, no, I believe in you, son. I believe in you. Does that sound evil? Does that really sound like an evil mother?
Your only fault was focusing your wrath on me instead of the true enemy. Hatred, destruction, and terror are forever. We will always need to fight them. But we can turn the tide of the eternal conflict in our favor. It starts here, with Mephisto's destruction, and you will lead the battles to come. Simply take my hand. Fight the Sanctuary. I will stay in the shadows.
I will never take your...
Look, even now, she's like, look, come out and fight Diablo. Come out and fight these demons and save Sanctuary. She's even saying, look, man, I don't even want the glory for it. I will go away. I will literally go and sit in the shadows and leave you alone for the rest of your life. I will leave humanity alone and let you make your own decisions. I'm just saying, please, we need to take on the angels and the demons. We have to save Sanctuary. And simply because she's a demon, the Wanderer is like, no, I'll never take your hand. I would never help you. You're a demon. How short-sighted is that? Very two-dimensional. Not looking at the bigger picture. The Wanderer really, he's been listening to Lorath a little too much possibly, because I don't understand how he can't see that this is something that needs to be done. He has a very immature worldview, in my opinion.
Do not cower. I've come to free you from this trap.
Why do you keep helping me?
Look where we stand. I saved you in this dismal little cave because I sensed you could end Lilith. And that is all I want. I won't lie. There will come a time when we are enemies. But like it or not, right now we need each other to defeat her. Look me in the eye. The path ahead is steep. My blessing will guide you. Tread without fear.
Look at this. The Wanderer is just totally willing to help Mephisto. But why? Why are we helping Mephisto? He wants to take over the world, man. And you're just gonna help him do it. And the only person that you could have had that could teach you and guide you and help you through the stuff you don't know about, you want to kill.
I thought I sensed that old wolf skulking around. You would follow Mephisto, but not me. Are you that foolish?
I agree with her when she says that. It's like nobody else is thinking of this stuff. None of the Horadrim or anything are really thinking about what is really going on here. Like, what do you think is gonna happen if she gets Mephisto's power? You think she's just gonna go to Earth and start killing off humans? Does that even sound like something that she's gonna do? If you're still watching this video, I don't know how long because I'm only in the recording process right now, but if you are still watching after everything I have shown you, can you really say that you honestly think that Lilith, if she gets his powers, is simply going to go to Earth and set fire to her own creation? I think we all know the answer to that is no. Even if you're skeptical, even if you're sitting there being like, oh, this guy is just messing with us, you know, he's just being sarcastic, he's just trying to make a point. Even you, that guy that's saying that, I think even you know that Lilith isn't going to go up to Earth and just start killing people. Come on now.
Sanctuary was meant as an escape from the eternal conflict. And yet, here we are, again. I gave you free will, and you've squandered it, wasting it on a crusade you don't understand. You chose tyranny when offered freedom. A poor legacy for my gift. Without me, you would have no victory. And its cost will be more than you can pay.
And as you can see in her last act there, she tries to get the Wanderer to realize that this is not the road that you want to go down. She's even crying for her children right there. She's not crying because she's in pain. She's not crying because she didn't get her way with Mephisto. She's crying because she knows that there's a good chance that her children are all going to die. And there's nothing that she's going to be able to do about it. And now the world will have to deal with Mephisto and Baal and Diablo all on their own without any guidance. And this is a tragic ending, in my opinion. And it fits well with the other endings of past Diablo games, because almost every single Diablo game ends in a tragedy of sorts. Although the heroes might have some kind of victory, there's usually something that ends up happening to the main protagonist that turn it into a tragedy later. And I think that in this game, the only difference is we're seeing the tragedy happen now, because Lilith was the real hero of Diablo 4, and that was why.